Hey everybody, welcome to Canvas Conversations, episode 2. My name is Jake, and this time on this episode we have with us Tyler. Tyler, how you doing today? Say hi to everybody.
I'm doing good.
Cool.
Thanks for having me.
No problem. Thanks for coming on. Let's see. I know Tyler. We worked together back when I was still in my ongoing profession that never ended, that I shouldn't have been in the first place, which was optics. And so we worked at the same optical place. And gosh, how many years ago do you think that was?
Probably 6 or 7, if I had to guess, since I left.
Yeah. You stayed there a little bit longer than I did.
Did I?
Maybe.
I think you were still there.
Maybe not.
Yeah, I think you were still there whenever I left.
No, you graduated school.
Yes.
And then left.
Yes, that's correct.
That's what happened.
Yeah, it was an interesting time looking back and thinking of all the people and all the coworkers. I still think back to those times pretty fondly. For being a job anyway, I guess.
Mm-hmm. One of your better jobs, one of your...
I think that overall it was a pretty good job.
Yeah.
I was not a fan of the hours, but I enjoyed the coworkers and I got along with management well. So yeah, I think it was a good job to work while going through school, and I'm thankful that I worked there, or else I never would have met you.
Not all that.
Yeah. It's interesting how stuff like that works. If you just take one piece of your life, you may be a completely different person.
Oh, for sure. 100%.
Mm-hmm.
When I left the Midwest, I was absolutely certain that I was not going to come back.
Mm-hmm.
I'm positive. And then I wound up back here. I wound up raising 2 great kids that turned out to be really fantastic adults. Somehow, we didn't screw them up. I'm not sure how. And then from there, I would have never met my wife now, who is my everything in life. And so sometimes I think, I hate Missouri. I hate it. But You know what? Honestly, I guess I'm stuck here because this is where I'm from and all that kind of good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, it's where you're meant to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting how life kind of just seems to happen that way.
Let me talk a little bit about this painting real quick.
Mm-hmm.
What I'm doing here is I'm just laying down just some color in the background, just like we did on the last one. And it's a little blue and a little black that I'm just kind of mixing together here. And we'll put this on the background, and then you paint Tyler's portrait on the top of it. And then, you don't have to stick with one color. You can, put in all kinds of different things. So, I don't know, maybe we're going to give him a little red in there. Whatever color kind of sparks. I don't know. When I look at people, I don't know, it's weird. When I look at people, I kind of see them in colors.
Sure.
Colors. And so, yeah, you seem mostly blue to me with like a little bit of red, kind of purpley. I don't know why. I gave Tyler a questionnaire before we started, and there's a lot in there about music.
Mm-hmm.
So let's talk about music.
Yes.
Okay, quick. Top 5 artists. Boom.
Eagles, Metallica, Queen, Pearl Jam, and Foo Fighters.
Boom. See, this is why we're friends.
Yeah.
That's a good top 5. Yeah.
Okay. There's some that I'm thinking about that I might be able to move in there. Motley Crue might be an honorable mention.
Right.
Fleetwood Mac would be up there as well. Yeah, there's so many greats. But all of it was rock.
Yeah. My easel's falling apart. Isn't that fantastic? I have always been very emotionally attached to music ever since I was a tiny, tiny kid.
Mhm.
So I'm always fascinated to kind of hear people's music stories and, and what's this important story behind this particular song
Sure.
and that kind of thing. You mentioned a particular song in your questionnaire called More Than Words.
Mm-hmm.
More Than Words. For those out there that are young, More Than Words was a song. You can look it up online. It's a very lovely little song. And it was done by a band named Extreme. If you watch anything other than More Than Words, that's by Extreme, you'll be kind of really confused why this band, this song, because their other stuff is like really super progressive heavy metal, basically. But they were a very, 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 very good band. But back in the day, every heavy metal band had to have the ballad.
Yeah.
Because evidently, they were, what I heard is that they were sick of showing up to their concerts and it would be all guys and no girls. And so they were like, okay, we got to write some slow songs so the girls will show up too. But tell me a little bit about More Than Words. Tell me a little bit about, also tell me a little bit about how does music serve as memory for you?
Yeah. Yeah. So More Than Words, is, it's a special song to me and it's an emotional song to me. I kind of seem to have that attachment to some songs, over the years. But More Than Words is a song that my mom she used to sing all the time whenever I was growing up. She would sing More Than Words and she would sing, the song that goes, I would walk 500 miles.
And die.
Mm-hmm. So a lot of those songs that my mom would walk around and sing and mumble are songs that really kind of stick with me through the years. And my mom sang that song to me and I'm learning to play that song on guitar so that I can sing it and play it for my son as he grows up.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. More Than Words was probably like the fourth or fifth.
Yeah.
On the guitar back in the day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's interesting. I'm not super good with finger picking, but that's pretty much all that song is, just using your fingers individually.
Yeah, I've always been, I'm not good at it either.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not good at it either. So then you feel like, because like I know when I conjure up a song in my head, like in my mind, it takes me like right back to that moment.
Yeah.
And it's like I'm almost there.
Right.
And so I didn't know if that was the case for you too.
Yeah. I think that that's the way it is for a lot of songs. And really, I mean, it's not just music. It's all the senses. I'll come across great smelling spaghetti or something and it'll take me back to a memory that I have. But yeah, absolutely. Anytime, More Than Words comes on, or Sheryl Crow comes on, anything Sheryl Crow, it seems that there's a memory that's attached to it that I just briefly visit again.
And how old was your mother when she died?
She was 45. Yeah, she, growing up, I was raised in a super conservative family. And so I don't know that I was raised in a way to appreciate a stay-at-home mom, and the sacrifices that they make. And so since mom's passing, I've certainly grown to have a much greater respect for her and her life and the things that she did and the emotions she felt and the things she went through.
Mm.
And as I get older, and now that I have a kid and I'm married and my wife's trying to be a stay-at-home mom, it puts a whole new perspective on it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And she was very she was born in the 70s, California. She was very kind of like Southern California girl.
Yeah.
And so, growing up, she would listen to Neil Diamond and Fleetwood Mac, and she would play those songs for me. But growing up, I was more of my dad's kind of music fan. If it wasn't AC/DC, you better just get out. So as I grow, I learned that I like that kind of softer rock,
Yeah.
classic Southern California style. I was never a Neil Diamond fan. My mom was a huge Neil Diamond fan.
All that Laurel Canyon.
Yeah.
Jackson Brown.
That's right.
Carole King. All of that. I wish I could find my mouse on here. There it is. Let's see here.
So when did you start painting, or maybe really love painting?
I didn't paint when I was a kid. My dad is an artist, and I grew up surrounded by this incredibly nice, art supplies and things like that, and and I couldn't use any of them because they were all super, super nice.
Mm-hmm.
So, I just didn't paint because I just felt like I wasn't going to be good enough.
Mm-hmm.
Like I wasn't going to be as good as him.
Sure.
And so I just didn't even try, which has been a kind of story of my life. Story of my life on a lot of different things is I just didn't even try. And so it wasn't until, gosh, I was like in my 30s that I was like, you know what? I kind of want to paint. I kind of want to learn how to paint.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's what I did. Is I just, went to Walmart and got some stuff and basically taught myself how to paint.
Mm-hmm.
Watch a lot of YouTube.
Yeah.
Um, paint a lot, really, really shitty paintings.
Mm-hmm.
And, eventually it starts to all come together, and it's eventually all started to come together for me. So, now I'm able to do things like this and be confident that I'm going to wind up with something at the end that's going to look halfway decent.
Right.
I'm doing this podcast because I'm trying to build my confidence kind of all the way around.
Mm-hmm.
Really, it's why I'm doing it. And I love to talk to people.
Sure.
So that's why we're here today.
Mm-hmm.
Why are you here today? Because you were pretty quick to jump on and say like, oh, yeah, I'll do it.
I think I've always appreciated the conversations that we've had back from our America's Best days, and I appreciated your honesty and kind of your input to anything that I would have asked. You were always able to kind of match the mood of what the situation demanded.
Mm-hmm.
So if it was a serious situation, you were instantly like, all right, let's get serious. Right. If it was a joking situation, you were always just instantly joking.
I think I probably joke too much.
That's all right. So I think that, just I enjoy having conversations, and I enjoyed our conversations that we had back at work. And I thought, let's get back to it.
I was telling my wife one day, I'm like, I'm the worst employee, just the worst. I'm that jackass that like I show up 5 minutes late, always, always, always. I do what I want to do. Is there a manager around? That's a big suggestion. Thank you. I'll think about doing that. And so I was really like kind of the worst employee.
Well, I mean, all those things are true. I wouldn't say you were the worst employee. I think, you always showed up and you did your job and you did the best you could. And that's all that anyone really could ask for.
That's one way to put it. You did the best you could.
It's funny. I think of that statement a lot. Just do the best you can. And growing up, I think I kind of took it as like, yeah, whatever. Do the best you can. Well, of course, I'm going to do the best I can.
Right.
But I think we take for granted that we are just naturally doing the best we can. The best we can is no different than breathing. It's just something that we naturally do, I think.
I think so too. I think it's taken me a long time.
Mm-hmm.
It's finally starting to sink in.
Yeah.
I'm a little slow on the uptake sometimes. Yeah. So what do you got against s'mores? Come on.
I've just never liked s'mores. I've never understood the love behind them. Anytime there's a campfire or anything, someone's got to bring s'mores. And I'm just,
You're like, is it just too messy or what?
I've just never gotten behind
Yeah.
I've never liked I just never liked s'mores. I don't know if it's texture. I don't really get much flavor out of it. It's just kind of
blah.
Yeah, to me it is.
My wife's there like, oh my God, I can't do this now. Is it serious? I know what she wants me to say, but you haven't tried a s'more with Reese's peanut butter cup.
I don't think so.
No?
Maybe I've only ate s'mores a handful of times, and every time it's just kind of been whatever. I always seem to give them another chance, and they just always seem to let me down.
Yeah.
Yeah. Although my wife has recently been making, she makes this like golden graham rice crispy treat thing, and she melts marshmallows, which I didn't even know was a thing. And then she puts chocolate chips in them, and she says that's a s'more. And I disagree with her. Right. Yeah. The one making it.
We were talking before we got started today, and I was telling you about how I love some good conspiracy theory.
Mm-hmm.
What's your favorite conspiracy theory right now? Tell us all about it. Sell me on it.
I don't know that there's a conspiracy theory that I wholeheartely believe in. I like to think about that we are just what did they say? We're just programmed, or whatever they call it.
Right.
I like to think about that, but I try not to think about it too long, because then it gets kind of fuzzy, I think. But I used to really enjoy looking into the JFK assassination.
Yeah, I mean, that's a rabbit.
Yeah.
You can fall down forever.
Yeah. I haven't really ever gotten to the flat earth one. The birds aren't real. I haven't really gotten into that.
Wait, the birds aren't.
Yeah. You ever heard that?
No.
Oh, that must be, yeah. And
what the hell is
a younger kid thing. Well, there was something going around whenever COVID happened, that COVID was was a ploy to keep everyone inside so that the government can replace the batteries in the birds. So they're just machines. Yeah. You ever heard that?
Oh,
Maybe I'm making it up right here. I don't know. Yeah.
you know,
I
I'm
think it's
batteries
real.
are going dead.
I think it's real.
Schedule pandemic.
I think it's real. Let me see.
People can't know about the birds.
Birds aren't real. Let's see.
Birds aren't real.
Yeah, there's billboard. People have put up billboards and all kinds of stuff.
So,
Oh, well, they'll say it's a satirical conspiracy. So, yeah. Yeah.
yeah, what do you think about the JFK conspiracy? What are your thoughts?
I think that Lee Harvey Oswald probably didn't do it, but that's about all that it goes to. My dad, he's getting into conspiracies a little bit, and he pulls up these videos, and he thinks that it was the driver that did it.
Ah,
Yeah,
I heard that one.
yeah, and somehow he's stumbled across this video that proves it.
And do you believe that there's this is not on JFK, but do you believe that there's a list?
I think it would be kind of silly to be on or to create a list, especially with high ranking people. You would think that they would do everything to not be on the list. I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know, but yeah, I definitely think that there's a lot of people that visited.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You check this.
I asked you, what is your, I believe as well was your favorite story from a live concert you've attended?
Oh, yeah. So here's the thing. I've seen a lot of concerts.
Mm-hmm.
Not being braggadocious. I had a job at one point in time, and I got tickets all the time, and so I've seen a lot of concerts. And there's a lot that are really stand out. I saw Fleetwood Mac live. With like Fleetwood Mac. So Lindsay on TV.
Were they going at each other at that concert?
Oh no, well, they glare at each other a lot.
Yeah.
They definitely are angry with one another still 50 years later, which is crazy.
Uh-huh.
But I saw Fleetwood Mac, and so that was huge. And probably one of my favorite concerts was a concert that I really did not. It was at a festival, and I did not go there to see this band. Let's put it this way. I went to go see Tom Petty. I was waiting for Tom Petty to come on, and the Killers and Sam's Town had just come out, and so it was like in Las Vegas. That's that's their hometown, and it was an amazing show. It's the only time in a show where I left and went to the merchandise booth and bought the CD.
Really?
And was like, oh my God. And I had just not really even kind of paid much attention to Hot Fuss at all. But then I became like a really big fan of the Killers all the way around. So that was a cool memory. How about you?
I haven't been to a ton of concerts. I did take my wife to see Harry Styles after we got married. That was a special concert just because it was kind of a wedding gift to her.
Right.
I remember my dad took me to see AC/DC whenever I was still in high school, and that was that's certainly a memory I'll hold on to for a while. They had just come out with a new album for the first time in a while, and they played, all the classics, Thunderstruck and Back in Black and TNT, and list goes on, of
All the good
course.
stuff.
Yeah. So those two concerts are probably the ones that I remember most vividly. Um, I don't really remember any kind of cool story associated with them, though. It was just the experience that we had.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Did you get to like have beer or something with it and
No.
on like that?
No. I was probably 15 at the time, maybe. So no, there was no beer.
I don't think I was a good parent at all. When my son was like 14 or 15, I took him to go see Motley Crue,
Uh-huh.
and I totally like his friend went with us too, and I bought him like one tall boy, and I'm like, you guys have to share this one beer. That's all you get.
Yeah.
So it was probably done.
Well, my dad, he probably would have got me one, but at that time I was like, no, beer, that's disgusting. Keep that away.
Were you any goody
I
guy?
wasn't, but I just didn't like alcohol. I didn't like the taste of it then. Um, so yeah, not a goody guy. I just didn't like it.
Just wasn't into it.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
you talked a little bit in your you had talked a little bit in your questionnaire about the myth of the self-made man,
Yeah.
and I'm kind of curious as to what your take on that is. I feel kind of like in a weird spot in my life where we're totally redoing my life. I mean, completely.
Mm-hmm.
And um, yeah, that self-made man kind of thing. I think is a bunch of is a load of crap.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I know you mentioned something about people don't really have gratitude for
Yeah.
the things that they have been given.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I think that we take a lot of things for granted. Um, I think for a lot of people, even just getting a first car, they take for granted, which is something that not a lot of people get from their parents or from anyone. Or growing up in a married household or whatever it is. But not just that. It's also the infrastructure that we all collectively provide, and I feel that a lot of people have this mentality of, oh, I did it myself, whenever they don't take the time to reflect on what all has transpired to get them to the position they are.
Right. Yeah, I'm starting to realize that because I'm in this position where you know feel like my whole entire life I've kind of wandered around and not really fit in anywhere, like especially with occupations. And it seems like now I finally kind of stumbled on one that I think is really going to be the one. But it's crazy because like I'm 51 years old and like I'm in college and
You're a
I'm
late
not going to
bloomer.
be done with this schooling until after the master's degree, which will be in like a couple of years. And it's just. But I know that an incredible amount. What's the word I'm looking for? Serendipity
Mm-hmm.
has happened. Like an insane amount of serendipity has happened. That this is where I'm supposed to be. I know because I've been given opportunities in, uh, you know, um, just everything, my health, and all kinds of things. I've been given a lot of opportunities that I didn't know. I don't think that I would have appreciated before now in my life properly. If that makes sense. So anyway, tell me your thoughts on that.
Yeah, I think that, uh, I listened to a podcast the other day that had Arnold Schwarzenegger on it, and he was talking about how grateful he was to have come here and all the things that the country provided for him. He was an immigrant. He was a poor immigrant. Um, he talks about how he, got movie roles and then ultimately became governor. But he talks about how grateful he is to the things that helped him get there. And part of that are things that are publicly funded.
Mhm.
And I think it's important to, especially now in a political time where we got people that are wanting to make cuts here and there and all over the place, that those funds really help a lot of people. And whether they appreciate it or not, they still have a lot of importance.
I agree. And the other thing that I hate is the myth of, well, you should just pull yourself up by your bootstraps.
Yeah.
You should just be able to pull yourself up by your bootstraps and do it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you're poor, you don't have a lot of money, you're struggling to pay your utility bill. You know what? Go and get rid of bed.
Right.
Go
Yeah.
get a drink.
Yeah.
But I know like that you should just like if you had your shit together, then this wouldn't be a problem. Hate it.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that when it comes to some of that stuff, a lot of people, I think, believe that we all have the same experience growing up. We all had a stay-at-home mom and a working dad, and they were able to provide for us and whatnot. But that's not the case. And there's millions of people out there struggling, and I don't know that you know that unless you experience it.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's interesting to pull yourself up by your bootstraps. Well, I definitely believe that hard work needs to be there, but at the same time, like, it's just crazy to me that, people are out there having to work 3 jobs.
Yeah, exactly. You shouldn't have to do that.
Right.
I knew somebody once that had grown up pretty well off.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, well off enough to, like college was paid for and it was a private university and, all the whole 9 yards.
Yeah.
And was just like so completely, and maybe that person's changed, but at the time it's just like so completely like oblivious
Mm-hmm.
to the amount of entitlement that she had been given
Yeah.
in her entire life.
Mm-hmm.
That it was like fucking maddening. It was like, oh my God, like not,
Yeah. And I'm
that's not a lot of people's experience. I
Yeah.
agree to yeah.
Yeah, and I do have to admit, I've fallen guilty to that as well. I think, there's a lot of things that I have taken for granted as well, and have just assumed that other people have gotten, and it's just not the case.
Right. Heather's portrait is coming right along. We're just locking in all the stuff, just like we did on the last portrait, and we'll do some real specific painting episodes like we did the last time for this portrait as well, because we're not going to get all the way through this today, but we're making some headway on it. Um, it's coming along. It's still in its real rough stages, so that is what it is. But we're going to just have faith that it's going to turn out all right. They usually do. Let me take a real quick look here. See what else can we talk about. Let's see what else can we talk about.
You mentioned something earlier that I keep thinking about. And it was a question that I asked about when did you fall in love with painting? And you talked about how growing up you didn't think that you'd be good enough at painting, so you never did it. It's it's interesting that I don't think people realize that their own self is their worst enemy. They talk themselves out of everything.
Oh, for 1000%.
Mm-hmm. It's interesting for me to think that the greatest painter to ever exist likely never picked up a paintbrush.
Yeah,
They just
that's good.
talk themselves out.
That's good. Listen to that out there. That's gold right there. I like that. That's really cool.
There you go. Put it on a t-shirt.
Right? You give me all kinds of amazing ideas today. This man is like, boom, boom, boom. Everything. He's like, oh, you know what? You should do this. Pay $1 million.
Hey, it's easy. Just do it.
I'm not.
Pull yourself up by your bootstrap.
Let's face it, I'm not that motivated, my friend. Not in the least.
Yeah.
I'm not that money. You know what? If everything's paid, we're not getting evicted. If nothing's turned off, we've got food to eat. You know, I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not big on. I've never been big on money.
Yeah.
And much to the chagrin of maybe people in my past, but I have never been really all that super interested.
Yeah, I think that there was a time whenever I was, but now that I've gotten older, I guess.
Yeah.
Now especially that now that I have a kid, it's like there's a lot more important things than money. And for me right now, it's time. I just want to spend as much time as I can with family, with friends.
That's what it's all about, anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, I think sometimes, and I'm like, oh, I really want this. I'm like, yeah, I really want it. I need it.
Mm-hmm.
I just really want it.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the key to happiness.
And then it sits in my Temu cart till I accidentally order it. Because Temu lies to me.
Yeah.
Lies to me all the time.
Yeah.
Tricks me into pressing the button.
Oh.
And I accidentally ordered a whole bunch of stuff long ago. Then I had to sit there and refund.
Mm-hmm. I've never been on Temu. I had a former coworker who would buy all kinds of stuff off Temu, but I've just never even checked it out.
No?
No. Yeah.
I like to shop.
Yeah. I'm not a big online shopper.
I'm not really into money at all. And then I'm like, oh my God.
Right. Yeah.
But I'm a cheap ass that likes to shop. So I'll buy shit, but it's got to be on sale.
Would you prefer to online shop or go in store?
Online shop.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. See, I'm the opposite. I'm still kind of old school, I guess. I have such a hard time purchasing something online if I can go to Best Buy or wherever and pick it up.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No. I don't know. Sometimes I get worried that I'm turning into a hermit because, I can go days without leaving my house. I don't care.
Yeah.
I got all kinds of shit here to amuse me. My wife's like, no, you need to get out.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Let's do some rapid fire questions.
Okay.
Boom, boom, lightning round.
Okay, I don't get to think about it, correct?
No
rule?
You don't get to think about them. That's the rule.
Okay. I'm a little slow, so if it looks like I'm thinking about it, I'm just thinking.
Oh my God. I'm so sorry. I can't. All right. What's the best sandwich?
Peanut butter jelly. Easy. I'm still a kid.
What's the one thing that you own that you absolutely should have thrown away yours?
underwear. I wear underwear for way too long.
If you could only hear one song for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Oh, I couldn't tell you without.
Okay. What's your least favorite smell, and why do you still want them?
Least favorite smell, any condom. I cannot stand the smell of like mustard or ketchup. I think I might have a little touch of autism or something. I cannot stand the smell of mayonnaise, mustard, ketchup.
Just as long as it's a condiment.
The only condiment that I like is barbecue sauce. I put that in everything.
There you go. I don't think I've ever run into anybody in my life that was like, no, can't do it.
And what's funny is barbecue sauce is a product of ketchup.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
I
you
can't
use
stand ketchup.
That's wild. What's your secret talent that nobody ever asks about?
Couldn't, maybe play guitar. I don't know. I don't know that I have a secret talent. I'm pretty open.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't have a secret talent, I don't think.
If you could live in one moment from your past for 30 more seconds, what would it be?
Our wedding.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. We eloped to Colorado. It was just two of us and our photographer. We got married on a mountain in Colorado, and yeah, it was great.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. We got married in Las Vegas.
Yeah. That's good place.
And it was well, we were like, okay, well, we're either going to get killed or we're going to get married. But
Yeah.
it turns out that we were going to get married. But it was a little sketchy couple of minutes there where we thought, this could really go either way. It was either hostile or a wedding.
Right. You asked about what song would I listen to on repeat.
Yes.
Since we're talking about wedding, our first dance song was "What Will Keep Us Alive."
Mm-hmm.
So now I'm thinking about the wedding.
Mm-hmm.
That would probably be the song that I listen to every day.
There you go. Describe your soul in 3 words. No explain.
Oh boy. Soul. I don't even know what soul is. Okay, here's life. I'm very loving.
Mm-hmm.
I have a big heart.
Mm-hmm.
It's way more than 3 words. I guess I'm cut off there.
Okay. What's something you pretend to understand but totally don't?
Everything. Construction. My stepdad's in construction. My biological father was in construction. He was a plumber, and I like to pretend that I know a lot.
I don't really know.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You get one do-over. What age are you and what are you fixing?
I am probably like 12. I'm buying like $1 worth of Bitcoin. Other than that, I think I've done pretty good.
Right on. What's the last thing that you forgave yourself for?
Probably going to the Air Traffic Control Academy. Mm-hmm. Once I got out and once I didn't make it, I was not in a good headspace at all. We had just had a baby. My wife was home, and it was a lot of stress. But things have gone good, and so I've forgiven myself for not passing the academy.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good. I don't know if you're the same way, I find it incredibly difficult to forgive myself for things.
Yeah, I think, it goes back to being our own worst critic. And whenever we're always critical of ourselves, we're always looking down on the mistakes that we made and thinking, well, you could have done better, you should have done this, you should have done that. And so it is hard to forgive yourself, I think, but you have to. You have to move on.
Yeah, you do. You do. You have to learn how to take care of yourself,
Mm-hmm.
and then you have to learn how to move on. And
Yes.
those two things are. It's not. I always thought for a long time that it was super easy. Those two things,
Mm-mm.
and it turns out that it was difficult because I got to this point where I couldn't take care of myself
Mm-hmm.
anymore, and it was like a no joke. I like legitimately couldn't take care of myself. And, I put myself in that position. It was pretty much all my fault that I was in that position. But, I've had to learn that I have to forgive myself for that because if I don't, then it's just going to make me a bitter asshole.
Yeah. Yeah. Certainly. You have to forgive yourself. And you can, you can visit downtown, you can visit Presstown, but you don't want to stay there. You need to get out of it.
Yeah.
As best as you can. And it's hard. It's not, I mean, it's been.
I'm very well medicated.
That'll help. That'll help. But it's been about 9 months since I left the FA Academy, and I'm just now kind of getting around to forgiving myself for not making.
Right on. Right on.
Yeah.
So, anything else you want to leave us with today? You've got the whole internet.
I don't. I don't know. I don't know that I had lasting thought. I just appreciate you having me on. I appreciate the work that you're doing. I hope that it really takes off for you. I like the idea, and I like the canvas conversation of the painting, and I think it's awesome.
Cool. Well, everybody, that's it for today's episode. We've got kind of just a real rough outline here of Tyler. It's not anywhere near what it's going to be when it's done, but we'll do some painting videos with some up close stuff where I'll talk a little bit about color theory and I'll scream some more about how great John Singer Sargent is. And looking at this, maybe we'll talk about Caravaggio as well. This might be a good thing to bring that one up. So, anyway, see you next time. And like and subscribe and all that kind of good stuff. All right. Bye.
Cool.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Good deal.
Good.